What is up, everybody? My name is Lee and welcome to Adventure FPV. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and I want to tell you that I am a fairly new FPV pilot. I've been flying since March 2021, but I've been flying drones since 2013. Just got into FPV, and really I got into FPV because I love video editing, and I wanted to add this extra tool to my toolbox. So with that being said, I've been using mostly GoPro products with Real Steady Go. Typically on my everyday flights, I use the GoPro Hero 6. I have been doing some commercial work since I started flying FPV, and I do use the GoPro Hero 9 for that type of stuff. I was curious to try this little guy out. This is the Insta360 GO 2. This is the second version, but I was never really super impressed with the video quality that I saw online for high-end work or something that was just going to take your breath away, but I'm starting to realize there might be a spot for it somewhere in the arsenal. I think this is going to be great on my small quads like the Chimera 4, the BabyHawk 2 HD. I also have a ProTech 25. And I think this would just be kind of a good little camera that you could maybe bash around a little bit more than you could something like a Naked GoPro. I actually destroyed a Naked GoPro a couple weeks ago with a light tumble in the grass. I crashed the Chimera in some grass and broke the board in half, and of course that starts to become expensive. So I thought that this little camera might be a good option to take a little bit more abuse, potentially. I use the BabyHawk 2 when I want to try something real world without getting too risky with a 5-inch, or if I want to try something outside of a simulator, because it really kind of flies a little bit like a 5-inch. It's a kind of a beast little guy, but I get a little nervous putting the Naked GoPro on it when I'm trying risky maneuvers, and of course sometimes I don't fly with the GoPro at all. I just practice a little bit, but there are those times when I'm flying and I want to capture the video, something better than the DVR footage, and I think this is really going to be the guy. So here's what I did. I took this camera out on 3 different quads to 3 different locations. I used it on the ProTech 25 at a park. I also used this thing on the Chimera 4 for a cruising flight, also at a park. And then I also put it on the BabyHawk 2 to do a little bit more acro kind of bashing at a football field to see how that turned out. So let's take a look at the footage and talk about it a little bit. This camera on the Chimera 4 worked out great. I'm using an Indy 64 filter on this, and I locked everything into manual. And as you can see from the flight footage, everything looked real smooth, real nice. I wasn't getting any jello effect. There is a little bit of an odd warp or wobble or snap you can see when the footage changes when you're doing things like flips and rolls, but that's kind of to be expected with the built-in stabilization. I also filmed everything in the Pro Video mode and exported it to the computer and made sure that I had all the settings I wanted on it manually, as opposed to being baked in to the footage. I did fly this with the camera settings baked in, and I did not like the results. It had a lot of wobble, it just wasn't very clean, it didn't look very good, so it's definitely best if you're going to use this for some sort of really nice stabilized footage. You're going to want to export it to your computer or do it on your phone, where you can select the type of flow that you want and manually set your settings. Now let's take a look at the ProTech 25. So I have this drone dialed in pretty good. I use this with the Naked GoPro Hero 6, get some really nice like one shot, some stabilized stuff through gaps, and it looks great. I really have it dialed into where I like it. Now I put this on there expecting it to be great, and as you can see from the footage, it was not. I was getting lots of jello. I had this thing tuned in just like I did with the Chimera flight, and I just was not getting the desired result. Maybe it was because of the weight difference between this and the Naked GoPro and the way I had it tuned that was causing these vibrations. I could probably go back and dial it in. But to be honest with you, I'm not worried about bashing the ProTech 25 like I am the BabyHawk, because when I'm flying the ProTech, I'm typically getting like these really nice tight shots. I'm not doing a lot of crazy stuff with this drone. It's more of just a cine small to get through tight spaces, and I'm not flying real fast or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about the Naked GoPro on that camera, to be honest with you. Okay, so speaking of the BabyHawk 2, let's talk about that for a second. I think that's where this thing is really gonna shine. Because this little camera, like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit more durable than using the GoPro, the Naked GoPro. And so this is kind of the go-to quad for me when I want to learn a new trick or I want to be a little more aggressive, but I'm not quite confident enough to go and do it with a 5-inch. But I still like to record because, like I said, FPV for me is a lot about the video. So, you know, going out there and practicing and training or using the simulator, that's my practice time. So when I'm out flying, I'm usually doing it with a purpose. I like to film, I like to edit. So I put this on the BabyHawk 2, took it to a football field, and I absolutely loved it. Now, is it as good as a GoPro video quality? No, it's not. Is the stabilization as good as Real Steady Go on this? No, it's definitely not. And you can't tweak and adjust the settings. You get what you get. You get FPV mode or you get their standard stabilization mode. You get two different options. You can't adjust how sensitive it is or anything like that. So you get what you get. But like I said, this is something I want to use to just capture some of those moments. I would like something better than DVR footage, and this really delivered for me. I was actually borrowing this from Anthony at Dad Outnumbered on YouTube. Thank you for letting me borrow this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get one. I got a gift card from work for $200, so that's gonna pay for most of my purchase, so I can kind of justify spending money on another camera. But yeah, like I said, guys, this is not a complete review and setup and tutorial of it. I'm just giving you some of my basic experience that I've had so far by using this camera, and I think there's definitely a time and a place for it, so I think I'm gonna add it to my arsenal. Hey guys, and if you haven't looked yet, I did create a brand new website, adventurefpv.com. And on the site, I have tons of resources about camera settings. I also have things like my rates, FAA information, news. There's lots of stuff on there. I'm trying to make it a community-driven website where people can go. Everybody asks me, hey, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? I can just shoot them to the website and everything's right there. I'm also doing things like selling custom LUTs on the website. I'm also selling some t-shirts and things as well. So yeah, go check out the website if you haven't been there yet. Hey, and if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys so much for sticking around, making the comments and everything. It's really awesome. So I appreciate your time and thank you for watching.